The Life and Accomplishments of Sir Isaac Newton. Hello, I am Sir Isaac Newton. Although I died about 300 years ago, I am back to tell you about my super amazing life. I was an English physicist, mathematician, and according to some people, the greatest scientist who have ever lived. Others love me for my life of fabulous hairstyles.
Hey, wait a minute, isn't that a wig?
Scram, kid, you bother me. This picture illustrates many of my most well-known accomplishments. Take a good look at this picture. At the end of this movie, I want you to know at least 3 of my inventions and discoveries illustrated in this picture. So let's back up and start on my birthday, on Christmas Day, December 25th, 1642. I was born here in this little house to a poor family on an English farm, but I hated farming. I was also bullied a lot in school. My hatred of farming and bullies made me study even harder to get away from them. I did so well in school that I was selected for the best school England had to offer, Trinity College, Cambridge. Unfortunately, during my life, the bubonic plague was raging. It is said to have killed up to half of Europe's population, 50 million people. The plague was especially bad in big cities where lots of people lived close together in very dirty conditions. This is why I went to live in the countryside to escape the plague. It was here in the country where the legend of me and the apple happened. The story says that I was sitting underneath an apple tree when an apple fell and bonked me on the head. From that experience, it is said that I realized the universal law of gravitation. I thought that the apple must be pulled by a force which I named gravity. From this revelation, I discovered 3 laws of motion. These laws of motion govern the motion of all things in the universe, from the tiniest atoms to the motion of planets and stars to the falling of an apple. You kids will spend many months studying these laws of motion later in your education.
Thanks a lot, Newton.
You're welcome. I published these discoveries in my most famous book, Philosophia Naturalis Principia Mathematica. That's just Latin, the scientific language for mathematic principles of natural philosophy. This is actually my own personal copy of my own book. In this picture, you can see the book in front of me, and the planets and the stars behind me. Do you understand why these are in the pictures now? What other things do you notice in this picture that we haven't yet discussed? Well, I'm waiting. Oh, wait, this isn't Dora the Explorer, I'll just tell you. One thing I discovered was that if you shine a bright white beam of light through a special glass called a prism, the light would be dispersed into all the colors of the rainbow. See? Cool, right? There is one thing we haven't yet talked about from this original picture. That's right, using my new discoveries about bending, shifting, and playing with light, I made the first usable reflecting telescope. While it looks really simple on the outside, the inside used lenses and mirrors to make planets hundreds of millions of miles away large enough to study. Hey, I can see my house from here. One last discovery that made me so darn famous, the invention of calculus, which is pretty advanced math.
Thanks a lot, Newton.
You're welcome. Sounds like I was almost too good, right? But don't worry, I was an awesome genius, but I wasn't perfect. For example, I wasted years attempting to perfect the art of alchemy. In my study of alchemy, I searched in vain to discover the Philosopher's Stone, the legendary substance that would make humans live forever, and turn cheap metals, like mercury or lead, into precious gold. Cha-ching! Incidentally, the Philosopher's Stone was later discovered by Harry Potter. I also went temporarily mad and suffered a little nervous breakdown by looking for secret patterns, codes, and formulas written into the Holy Bible. Well, all good things must come to an end, even super great geniuses like me. I died in my sleep in London on March 20th, 1727. I was buried here in Westminster Abbey, in England, one of the most special places to be buried. Traces of mercury, an element that often causes insanity, was found in my hair, which was probably from my experiments with alchemy and may explain my eccentric behavior in my later years. Was this the true secret behind my fabulous hair? I'll never tell. My work and fabulous hair stood as the undisputed greatest until about 100 years ago, when a man named Albert Einstein and his fabulous mustache changed everything. Well, I should mention here, unlike me, Einstein's discovery led to the creation of the most dangerous weapons humans ever made. But that is a story for another time. Okay, quiz time. Let's see what you've learned from the story. Please write down 3 of the most famous inventions and/or discoveries by me using this picture as a guide. And remember, kids, if you learn nothing else, an apple is good for you only if you eat it, not if it gives you a concussion. Thank you, and good night.